Everybody going for eligible who needs to run in the first three to qualify for the Cup, along with Frightening and about a handful of other horses. The start here for the Cathay Pacifics, 2,500 metres. And they have a run along the school side of the course and then go past the Cox Plate Start up the straight. Both Legible and Frightening have drawn well. They've drawn in about 6 and 3 respectively. Well, yesterday, Danny Nikolic, who won the Caulfield Cup on Mummify last Saturday, was good enough to come out, jump on a horse and go over the Cox Plate journey for us. He's making out he's on Lonhro, and he's making out that he's Darren Beedman for this exercise. And I can tell you, I've had a chance to look at it, it's fascinating.
I'm Darren Beedman on Lonhro here, just so everybody, all the listeners at home and the viewers at home are watching. Okay, they've called me up to the barriers. We're jumping from an outside barrier. Okay, they're off and they're away. Lonhro's jumped good. Main thing I want to do, coming up to the winning post the first time, I want to get Lonhro nice and relaxed. The pace is very genuine with Paraka and Shower of Roses. They're bowling along. Oh, I've slotted in lovely here, one off the fence. I've only got 1 or 2 behind me. Just relaxed, beautiful. Oh, Lonhro, settle down, pal. The pace is very, very genuine. They're rolling along to the mile now. We're just making the way out of the straight the first time. And he's just relaxed beautifully here, Lonhro. He's really relaxed good with a nice speed. I'm very, very happy with the way the race is panning out. Being a small field, I'm riding the best horse. I'm going to show a bit of confidence in my horse here. I'm not going to get itchy fingers, because most of the jockeys here at the 1400, they're set in their spot. They're not going to move from now until they get to about the half mile. Lonhro's just coming around lovely. You've got to remember, he's a Sydney horse, but he's come down to Melbourne, raced a few times, and he's on his right leg here, which is really nice, and I'm comfortable. I've got Nasrullah, he's having a little bit of trouble on Paraka. He's over racing well in front, and you know it's going to come back. They can't keep going like that. Not for 2,000 metres against the best horses in the country. Okay, we're working up towards the 1,000 metres. Starting to get itchy fingers now. The race is there to be won. Now we're coming to the half mile. There's good pressure in this race. And they're all starting to come back to me. I've only got one behind me. I'm just peeling to the outside now. This is where the language starts getting a bit ordinary. Most of these jockeys around here, at the schoolers to speak, they're all worried. I'm riding the best horse, so I'll have a look at this. I've just travelled up to these horses. If the language is nice here, we're not trying. As we ran the home turn, I've got them all covered. I'm just 2 lengths off them, and I'm going to them. I'm going to win the race here. Coming around the turn, Lonhro feels enormous. I'm going to let him down lovely here. He's got them all covered, gone straight past the leaders. They're fainted. As they come around the turn, I let him go. Come on, Lonhro. Show us what you got, big boy. Come on, big boy. Come on, Lonhro. Come on, I've just won the Cox Plate. Unbelievable feeling. That feels real good. And give the crowd a wave. #1. Sensational.
Well, Damien Oliver joins us and he's been smiling and enjoying it just the same. I reckon Danny's done a great job. Did he get it right?
He's done a wonderful job there. You don't realise how hard it is to actually have a conversation like that while you're riding a horse, and you could see in the back of his breath there how much he was actually puffing.
Don't want to spoil the illusion there, Bruce, but that horse was in trouble a long way from home. The horse that Danny was riding, I believe it's a 6-year-old hurdler called Queeler's Mark, from Queensland. So hope Lonhro goes a bit quicker than that.
And as Damien said a moment ago, what a ride. He never left the fence and did it well. Danny, well done. Damien, hang around. We've got so much to talk to you about, including Mr. Pruden, your cup ride in the next on the program.
Certified to come up for the Cox Plate. Houston off on the inside. Osprey settles better. Enduro 3. Sunline 4. Northerly 5. And the field is set. They're ready. Stand by. Racing. And a perfect start, and Sunline is straight into the bridle out of the gates. At the 600-metre mark, Sunline a length in front. Northerly is second. She's got a kick though on the turn. It's Sunline a length in front of the Great Western Australian. Northerly's got his head in front of Sunline. 2 to the fire, and then Grandira. Northerly's clear at the 100-metre mark to fire after Northerly. Northerly's going to do it back to back. Northerly
In the tapestry of Australian sport, the WS Cox Plate is a rare masterpiece. Look through the gallery of idols, and each successive champion has added to the canvas a new layer of rich colour and perspective. In the early years, fated names such as Farlap, Ajax, Manfred, Tulloch and Tobin Bronze. Gun Sind left his mark in the 70s, along with Surround and Dulcify, and then came the Kingston Town trilogy. We thought we'd seen it all, but we watched in awe as two gladiators conspired with the genius of a broadcaster to give us a jewel for the ages.
Our Waverley Star, the rails, Bone Crusher the outside, and Bone Crusher races into equine immortality.
Did Bill Collins invent that phrase about equine immortality? Or was he reminding us what winning the Cox Plate means? It's about joining the immortals in the Valley of the Kings.
Sunline.
And in the modern school, we honour contemporaries, Sunline and Northerly, and old masters, Superimpose, Better Loosen Up, Might and Power, and a horse sent from heaven, Saintly.
Mate, I just give all the glory to God. Hallelujah, brother.
There are so many layers which give the WS Cox Plate its texture. The atmosphere of the valley, which is more a stadium than a racetrack. The integrity of a race for only the best. The anticipation of a plate, which is delivered as so many banquets. It's Cox Plate Day at Moonee Valley, and we can taste the making of another masterpiece.
It sets it up so well, and Damien Oliver knows what it's like, the joy of the chase and the thrill of the win in a Cox Plate. He's done it twice. Dane Ripper, who blew them out in 1997, and then the people's favourite Northerly in 2001. Is it right up there? We say it's the trilogy of great events with the Caulfield Cup and the Melbourne Cup here.
It is. I mean, I was just walking around outside earlier, and it's just soaking up the atmosphere is amazing at this place with the grandstand sitting over the short straight there. It really creates an amphitheatre, and it is amazing.
What about up the straight here? I mean, what a finish this was. I mean, with Viscount inside of you, and you're trying to get to Sunline.
Yeah, I was under enormous pressure, and I knew my horse had enough to pick her up, but he just seemed to take a long time to do it, and he was getting in as well. And then I was just so concerned about the interference that he may have caused close to the line, and just tried to keep him as straight as possible.
What about the pressure on you as a jockey, Damon? Riding Dane Ripper went around about 25 to 1 compared to Northerly, who was right in the betting. Do you actually sort of feel the pressure with the favouritism of the horse as well?
There's no doubt you do. Like as you said, riding Dane Ripper, I was on the outside of the field, and you know, no one's had expectations of me, so I had no pressure on me going out there, and I could just ride for luck. And if the breaks came and she won it, great. If it didn't, well, then I wasn't, you know, it wasn't too bad. But riding Northerly, you do a horse like Northerly, and even Lonhro today, Darren will be feeling the pressure and hoping that he doesn't get forced into making a decision that can lose in the race.
Because that can happen here at the Valley. There's something about Moonee Valley and the Cox Plate as well. The pressure goes on early here in normal sort of racing, let alone the plate itself.
Well, it does, and when you're riding a hot favourite such as Lonhro in a small field, which is even harder, I find, because you got everyone looking around you, and they even unconsciously, the jockeys are riding their race around you. So, as I said, Darren's got to be careful that he doesn't get forced into a bumping duel with another horse, or forced into going earlier, or even waiting too long. You know?
OK, if you were riding in this race,
Yep.
what would you be doing to try and get him beaten? You rode Defy, for instance, in the Alumba. I've never seen Defy in front of Lonhro in the early stages of a race. That was a plan to try and get him undone?
Well, not so much get him undone, but I sat behind him in the previous run, and I wasn't able to pick him up. His acceleration was too great for Defier. So, I mean, you've got to be careful. You don't want to ride so much to beat Lonhro, because you undo your own chances and then set it up for someone sitting behind you or in front of you not getting caught up in it all. So it's a tricky situation.
Well, he's going to be one of the shortest price favourites for many years. $1.67 Kingston Town was in about 20 years ago. So this bloke Lonhro's at $1.70 now. So we're going back a long, long time. Odds-on favourites have got a great record in the race. So $1.70, Defies $11.80, Fields of Omar still $7.30. Look at the difference in New South Wales and Unitab as well, which is sort of halfway in between with a couple of these. Clangalang at $6.10. Natural Blitz at $13, Paraka at $30, Shower of Roses at $16, and Zagalia, who's the Melbourne Cup hope here, at $22. Well, we think of the Cox Plate in recent years, and we think of Northerly, and we think of Sunline. And that champion mare is at Coolmore Stud in the Hunter Valley, where she's been served by the brilliant English stallion Rock of Gibraltar. Her strapper and constant companion, Claire Bird, now works for Victoria Racing, or Racing Victoria. But as Neil Kearney reports, she'll never forget her 6 years with the dual Cox Plate winner.
A year ago today, the Valley went all soppy and sentimental. Punters cheered a horse that had been beaten. Women wept and kids wrote poems. And this Romeo proposed to his Juliet on the rug of a mare heading for the stud. On Sunline's last day at the races, Claire Bird's mind was a sea of swirling emotions.
It was a good day for me because all my sisters came over from New Zealand, and I have a sister that lives in Australia here, and it was the first time we'd actually spent time as 4 sisters together, and it was the last time because my oldest sister died in January, not long after that. So it was a really, really good day for me, and you know, just them all being there for me to support me on her last day was great.
Whoa, big fella, can't speed up now.
A year on, and everyone's favourite strapper is riding track work 6 mornings a week at Flemington.
Can you just go twice steady, Claire? So you know.
Okay.
Claire rises at 4, then holds down a full-time job for Racing Victoria, teaching track riders and strappers. There are more girls than blokes riding work these days, and Racing Victoria is even bringing in riders from Russia. And Claire says the shortage is because the workers get none of the credit of the race day jockey.
He hops on for his 2.5 minutes and hops off, and that's it.
In her rented flat across from Flemington, Claire has some nice trophies from her 6 years as Sunline's constant companion.
And they're great to reminisce and remember, but I just think that for me to be recognised and, you know, for it to be said publicly that I played a big part in her career, it means more to me than any money or any trophy or anything that I've ever
Did you make
gotten.
much money out of Sunlight?
No, I didn't. I mean, a lot of people are under the illusion that I made a heck of a lot of money out of her, and it's just not the case. I looked after her because I loved her and because she meant a lot to me.
So in the week that Sunline won the Cox Plate, what would you have earned?
Just my weekly wage.
Which was?
It was about 500 a week, 500 New Zealand dollars a week.
Make them walk. Yeah, that's good.
Racing Victoria approached Claire when she was contemplating life after Sunline. It's been a tough separation. The greatest mare in turf history was also Claire's closest confidant.
So I remember a few times when I was having a bad day and I'd be crying and carrying on, and I'd just go and sit in the box with her and she'd give me a big cuddle, and she was the one thing that was always there, a constant, and you know.
She was no lady though, was she?
Oh, she wasn't as bad as what people thought she was. I mean, she'd give me cuddle. She only got wound up.
This is like talking about a nasty old grandma now, isn't it?
Well, that's what we used to call her in the end, Grandma. But she just really wasn't as bad as what people thought she was. Sure, she gave me a few injuries, but.
Like what?
Oh, she broke my nose and she broke my hand and she bit my finger and nearly bit it off one day. And I have no feeling left in the end of it anymore, but...
If she was a man, she'd be in jail.
She would be. But she didn't do any of those things with the intent of hurting me. It's accidents that happen with horses.
Can you love a horse as much as more than humans?
I think you can. I think she was there for me and nicer to me than some humans have been at times. But
even though she bashed you?
Even though she bashed me. You know, at the time, I didn't want to have a relationship with anybody because she was more important to me than something like that. She was way more important to me than anything at one point. She was a once-in-a-lifetime horse. I mean, they don't come around every day, and I would have been silly to turn my back on it or to get carried up or caught up in something else that you know might never have been as good. And she meant an awful lot to me. She was my baby.
Miss her?
I do. I miss her. I miss her a lot.
Peter Donegan telling us today that when Claire arrived at the track, she went into the mounting yard and burst into tears. She had a great love for Sunline. Let's have a look at the horses now for the Cathay Pacific Airways Cup. Damien, you went down to 13th Beach near Leopold this week on Tuesday and rode Mr. Truden in track work, decided to ride him in the Cup.
That's right, Bruce. Yeah, he certainly doesn't feel like a 9-year-old, and George races him sparingly, and the atmosphere down there at Leopold and the beach he really loves.
Do you give him a chance in this race?
I'd just like to see him be running on. I don't know if Moonee Valley's really his track. I think Flemington suits him better, but he'll settle back and hopefully be running home nicely.
Well, County Tyrone hasn't won since the Queensland Derby in 2002.
No, he ran second to Honor Babe in the Sydney Cup. He's been unsuited in every race he's been in this preparation. A lot of weight, Bruce. Place best for mine.
Piaget won the Brisbane Cup this year. His run in the Fiam was pretty good. Last start, just beaten a couple of lengths in the winning edge.
Yeah, certainly the slow pace in the winning edge didn't suit this horse at all. Again, up in the weights, I'm sure the connections would like to see him running home strongly at the end of the race. Not sure he can win the race, Bruce.
Another worry, you rode last start, Damien. He didn't seem to have much luck in the Coonji handicap.
He didn't. He was in amongst them, and it was a muddling run race. So if it's more genuine tempo today, I expect it to suit him better.
He'd been placed at Group 3 level over the 2200 metres, and OK run, I thought, last start. A little hope.
Comfort, 7th in the Metrop. That doesn't look all that good a form, to be truthful, but he did win the Newcastle Cup before that.
I watched the Metrop, Bruce. It was very wet by the stage that Comforts went around in it. I'd forgive the run completely. Newcastle Cup, look, just a fluker's hope at best.
Rose Archway, you know very well. 6 is scratch, 7 Rose Archway. Damien, you rode her to win the Dubai International at Caulfield 3 starts back, and she's coming through the Caulfield Cup.
Excellent run in the Caulfield Cup, Bruce. She was off the track all the way, and if she's backed up well from that run, if that hasn't taken too much out of her, she's in with a good chance today.
Yeah, copped a check as well before being pushed wide on the home turn there, Dame, and I thought it was a terrific run there.
Danny Nicolicca, we saw a moment ago going around on Lonro, or supposedly Wrongrow. He's on Monmiki here. She's a Queensland Oaks winner and reasonable form, Craven Plate, 3rd to Shower of Roses.
This is a filly who I think's form is better than it looks on paper, and she won the Queensland Oaks, as you said, but not a bad run behind Shower of Roses in the Craven Plate, and just kept going at the one strong bat. I reckon she's a little blowout chance here.
Flying Chance number 9. This was a good run in the Metrop. Gee, it covered some ground and just hung on really well. Colin Alderson's a very good trainer of stayers.
Yeah, drew 16 in the Metrop, and that's where he stayed out 4 wide the entire race, and just kept going. I don't know whether he can repeat the dose here. The Metrop, for me, has turned into a fairly average race, Damien.
Yeah, it has fallen away in recent years, and although this horse has got... I beat him here a few starts ago, and it was a good run that day, so you look for horses that have got good form at Moonee Valley, and he's got some chance.
Del Vecchio now number 10 on pace, not bad at Cranbourne in the Cup.
No, he had to chase the leader there. He likes leading himself, but he was forced to do the chasing at Cranbourne. Normally they drop out when they do that, but he held on very well. Again, up in class, just a place, maybe a fluke is hope of winning actually.
Frightening was terrific in the Coonji. He's got Bart Cummings, just jumping up in distance here, but he's sort of the fresh, interesting horse on the scene, Damien.
He is. He's untried at this distance, but if anyone can get him to run it, it'll be Bart. And, you know, he's, once again, got good form here at Moonee Valley, and that's what you look for, horses that have performed here.
And acceleration, Damon, how important in staying races?
It is. It's a good sign. I just noticed he's out of a Nassapore mare, which was the sire of the great Let's Elope, so he's got a bit of staying pedigree on the dam side.
Wonder what Serpentine can stay, St Ledger and all of that, but just wonder whether he can quicken enough.
Yeah, one-paced horse and just a place for mine.
Lord Erin wasn't all that bad last start. We're talking about 13 Lord Erin. He was out of the placings in the Coonji, but didn't have a whole lot of luck.
No, not so well weighted here, though, and it is a handicap, Bruce. I think he had to come from last, of course, last start, but I think the handicap has got him.
Now, Schumpeter 14. Now, you rode this at Sandown, Damien, 3 starts back, where he ran 3rd over 1,800.
Yeah, he probably lacks a little bit of class, Bruce, but he's got no weight on his back, 51 kilos, and, you know, he's been sort of... This is a sort of race he could be competitive in. It's just below the top tier, so he won't be far away.
And blew the start at Caulfield.
Here's the key to the race, legible. Zabil mare, 4-year-old, very good all the way through. Forget last start, and so well weighted.
Yeah, extraordinarily well weighted, not just against Frightening, but other horses who ran in the Coonji. She meets them all better. Look, she just never got out. She never got a look in for the last 1,000 metres of the race. As Zabil mare, as you say, everything's right. We've seen her win here at Moonee Valley very impressively. She's got great acceleration. I think she's nearly a good thing.
Yeah, I'm with Turfy. I think she looks hard to beat, 49. She's got a postage stamp on her back, and you know, she's drawn well. She never got a crack at him at all the other day, and with that she's had an easy run leading into this. So with even luck, she'd be very hard to beat.
And Dominic Prince gets a run with the stretching of Badger's Wood. $229
on the tote, Bruce, and I reckon that's unders.
No value, you think? Well, that means that Turf doesn't give that horse much of a chance. Gerald Ryan's got Monmiki in this, but he's got Clangalang in the Carlton Draft Cox Plate, and he's with Peter Donegan.
This gentleman experienced his biggest moment in racing in the AJC Derby in the autumn. Gerald Ryan, if you win today, that would just about top it, I'd say.
Yeah, probably would, Peter. You know, this is probably the weight race championship of Australia, and only good horses win it. He's a good horse. Whether he's good enough to win a Cox Plate or not, we'll find out later.
Is it a good position for you to go in? Because really there's no pressure on you. Everyone's expecting Lonray to win.
Yeah, no, it's a good position. No, I don't know whether I can handle the pressure about having Lonray in a race like this, but no, I think pressure is only what you want to put on yourself, and I'm happy with the horse. The horse has done nothing wrong. He's travelled down, he's settled in, he's worked well in here during the week, and no, I'm quite happy with him.
They say every cloud has a silver lining. At one stage it looked as though he wouldn't be taking part in the spring because you had a setback with him, but it didn't last very long.
Yeah, you know, 5 or 6 weeks ago, he gave his joint a bit of a twist. He's probably blown a bit out of proportion in the media. That you know, he only missed 1 day's work, and then he had about 3 days swimming, and then he was back on track, and nothing's gone wrong since with him.
So finally, is there one word that you would describe your attitude going into the race? Is it confident? Is it hopeful? What would it be?
I'm pretty confident the horse will run well. So in one word, confident.
Best of luck.
Thanks, Peter.
So if you like Clangalang, Gerald Ryan is giving you a leg up there. They're on the way to the post for the Cup today. A lot of these horses trying to not only win the $250,000 that's up for grabs, but also to get into the Melbourne Cup. People having fun on and off the track at the Valley.
It's time, more action.
We're looking for good-looking, well-dressed men. We found a man in a red shirt. Let's have a big smile for everyone out there.
It's time, more action.
That's Flemington in the 4 days. Looking forward to that. But today it's Carlton Draft Cox Plate Day. I'm with Dr. Turf and Damien Oliver, who has the best record in this race of any jockey in history, having won the event on 4 occasions. Bart Cummings has got 3, which is equal to any other trainer. Just in recent years, this race has developed into a pretty good guide for the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, I think in recent years, Bruce, it's sort of taken over from Derby Day as a classic lead up into the Melbourne Cup. 9 days to the Melbourne Cup. It's just a nice timing sort of thing, and the 2500's a nice distance for their final lead up to the Cup.
And George Hamlin obviously likes the method, Bruce. I think he's had 4 runs coming into today's race, Mr. Prudent. He ran in the same 4 races last year before the Mini Valley Cup, and of course going on to run that outstanding second.
Let's go down to the ring and find out if all the money has been for legible. King Callender.
Yeah, it sure has, Bruce. They put up $3. They took that. They took the $2.80, and now they're taking the $2.70. On the other hand, Frightening is out in the market, and you can get $7 Frightening.
Gee, Frightening's out to 6 to 1 basically, $7. So at 5:30 it's unders. It'll probably drift out, and big money for legible. Yes, Mr. Prudent 3rd last year in this race and 2nd in the Cup. The pace is always a key to a staying race. It's you want it to be at a good, solid clip. We saw Mummify go straight to the front in a Cup last week. Mr. Prudent, he'll probably get back, won't he?
He will, Bruce. I think you'd be looking for a horse like Dominic Prince. You could back him to be past the winning post the first time, so, but I don't know if he'll be there the second time, but he should ensure a genuine tempo and hopefully make it an even run race and give everything its chance.
And when you're on a mare like Legible with no weight, do you take advantage of that and push forward?
I think so. It's important with no weight on your back to get a good position and give yourself a trouble-free run and make the others carry their weight.
John Lett's out there behind the barrier. John, it's blowing up a bit. There's a fair bit of breeze about, but still no rain. And how does Legible look to you?
Actually, Bruce, I'm over the other side, but I did have a look at Legible when it went out onto the track and looked very good in condition. It's been very well turned out by Brad Mazzato, and I do expect this mare to run very well. She's if she wins this, well, she's going to go into the big ones over the Spring Carnival, isn't she?
No doubt about that. So 270. So a number of these horses are trying to qualify for the Melbourne Cup by running in the first three here, and they include Legible and Frightening. They're not fully qualified. They've got to run in the first three in the Cathay Pacific Airways Cup as we join Sport 927 caller Brian Martin.
Now we're just about ready as Piaget is taken to the gate, and they'll be ready for the Gold Cup. Now they're set. Stand up. Racing. Left in a good line too. One of the first out in the middle is Rose Archway. Bounced very quickly here with Mon Mickey. Away well is Comforts on the outside and Flying Chance and Legible are prominent over on the inside from Del Vecchio, County Tyrone and further back Dominia Prince. But Mon Mickey's going to cross over and lead around the first turn. 2,200 metres out. It led now from Rose Archway, Flying Chance the middle. Comforts out wide, followed by County Tyrone. Legible back fifth on the inside of Serpentire and Del Vecchio deep. Then Dominia Prince and further back Frightening one off the fence. Schubert 3 out from Lord Erin. Going back is another warrior from Mr Prudent and Piaget. Coming down towards the winning post with a lap to go, and Mon Mickey striding out by a good 2 lengths to Rose Archway, and Flying Chance has got up on the inside third. Comforts went off the fence fourth. Legible fifth on the inside of County Tyrone. 2 to Serpentire, 2 to Dominia Prince, and the outside of it Del Vecchio. They're followed further back by Frightening and Lord Erin. Del Vecchio out 3 deep. So is Schumpeter, followed by another warrior, Mr Prudent the fence. 2 to Piaget last of all. They're inside the 1600 and down the side, and Mon Mickey just off the rail, nearly a length and a half in front. Second in the race, Rose Archway. Third the inside, Flying Chance. A length further back, Comforts, and County Tyrone's pulling a little out 3 deep. Dominia Prince over on the inside from Legible, one off the fence, back in the centre. It's running seventh, followed by Serpentire. Then Lord Erin further back, Frightening. Del Vecchio having no luck getting on the track. A length further back, Mr Prudent, followed by another warrior taking off. Then Schumpeter and Piaget last of all. 11.50 out down the back in the Gold Cup, and the leader still is Mon Mickey, just over a length to Rose Archway. And here's another warrior whipping around the outside, and another warrior brings the speed into the race to go up and head off Mon Mickey as they've gone to the 1,000, a length and a half. Rose Archway ridden along. Then came County Tyrone fourth. Fifth is Flying Chance. Legible back in the middle. The inside of it, Comforts and Serpentire out wide. Then Frightening getting to the outside from Dominia Prince, Lord Erin, Mr Prudent, Del Vecchio, Schumpeter and Piaget at the 600 metre mark. And here's Legible putting it a run with a lightweight. She's sweeping around the outside and she's gone up to hit the front. Legible out deep has hit the front from another warrior. Then County Tyrone, Rose Archway dropping out, Mon Mickey and Frightening getting out. Legible, he's pulled the whip at 3/4, another warrior. Frightening to the outside is coming with a run now. Frightening is going after Legible at the 300 when they turn. Then another warrior on the outside. Frightening's gone up to Legible. Took the lead from another warrior. Then County Tyrone, Lord Erin and Del Vecchio. Frightening in front at the 180 metre mark. It sprinted away. 2 lengths in front of Legible, another warrior. County Tyrone and Lord Erin, and further back Mr Prudent. But Frightening racing towards the Melbourne Cup is going to win by 2 lengths. Second is Legible. Third County Tyrone, a nose in front of another warrior. Then Lord Erin, Del Vecchio, Mr Prudent. A gap Rose Archway, Piaget, Schumpeter. Further back in the race then came Serpentire. A long gap Dominia Prince. Mon Mickey knocked right up, so did Flying Chance. And Comforts has walked home last of all.
First trainer ever to win the Moonee Valley Cup on 4 occasions. Today under the